Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to week 6 for CA 102 Culinary Concepts and Foundations. Check it out. We're halfway through, everybody. It's week 6 out of 12 weeks, so congratulations. A lot of impressive stuff coming out so far. How's everybody feeling? I see some thumbs up with thumbs up. Dan's looking good. Clarence is looking good. Sandra's got a thumbs up. Shanti, Ruben, everybody. All right, that's awesome. Daniel there, good job, man. It's great to see the progress that everyone has made. I remember in week 1, we talked about one of the biggest rewards that Chef Matthew and I have as chefs, and that's watching everybody progress and seeing everybody grow along the way. And from what I've seen from checking various assignments, it's been wonderful. And talking to the students and everything else, it's been such a great experience so far. So hats off to all of you guys. So we are at the midway point, just about halfway there, which leads me to our next subject. Midway this Sunday, we need your assignments by 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. That assignments, week 6, we need them in by 11:59 Central Standard Time, Sunday night. It's very, very important. It's week 6. We're also trying to get you in the habit for week 12. That's going to be the same thing. You've got an easy week this week for assignments that we're going to go through here in a couple of minutes. And I think you're all going to be able to get this done. I can't see why not. So I think you'll make Chef Matthew awfully happy too by that. Look at the smile on that face. Isn't that right, Chef Matthew? What's that?
Did you see that? Did you see that smile? Is that what made you?
That was a grin from ear to ear. I like that.
Woo!
Yeah, that was pretty good. So everybody out there, everybody on the screen that I can see is looking at me like, no, right? They don't look too happy about this week 6 thing going on. So we're going to talk about that again here in just a few moments. How'd everybody do with week 5, effects of heat on food? What kind of feedback do we have? Thumbs up, everybody? Yeah? Anybody, honestly, tell me the truth. Did anybody get a little egg on the floor? Anyway, Sandra, did you get egg on the floor? No? Atta girl, good job.
How about the ceiling? Anybody egg on the ceiling?
The ceiling, maybe. No, mine never hit the floor. The dogs got it before it hit the floor.
Lucky you.
Yeah, Ebony, you got a thumbs up from this week? Yeah? Joshua, Clarence? Yeah? What about you, Ruben? Yeah? How'd everybody do with the hollandaise? That always seems to be the, Shanti's over there going like this. Yeah? Janine, yeah, thumbs down? Yeah?
Good time.
Atta girl, you hung in there. But you know what? Don't beat yourself up over the hollandaise sauce. It's a natural learning process. It's not often that somebody just walks in the kitchen, picks it up, and makes it and keeps on going. All of us, and you see Chef Matthew down there on the screen. He's shaking his head like, We've all been through the hollandaise zone many times. So if it didn't work out for you, if it didn't quite come together, my word of advice is be patient with yourself. It's gonna happen. You can do it. Just keep practicing. Sometimes it takes a couple of go-arounds to get it right. So just be patient. It's gonna work out as time goes along. What about the omelet? What did everybody think about that? Yeah, Ruben's got a big thumbs up. Everybody, I agree. How'd you like that omelet? Yeah?
You know what, Chef? I was amazed. There were more people that said, and it totally surprised me. There were quite a few people that said the omelet was harder than the hollandaise. And really? I could tell from their project, I couldn't believe it.
No.
And, the hollandaise, overall, I have to say, there were so many good looking hollandaise sauces made, and
really
awesome. Nailed it. They really did. I mean, awesome. I've seen it a million times, and there were so many of them that were good. I was really amazed.
Well, did you notice more French omelets or Western omelets?
Actually, what happened was when you I had told them that they could choose which one they wanted to make, and then when you came back in, you said only make the only make the French, and then so I think there were a couple American omelets, but most of them were French. So
Oh, good job. That's fantastic. Excellent, excellent. How was the color on the omelets?
a couple of them were pretty dark, but really most of them were pretty good. And I think it was really the wrinkles that was the tough part. And quite a few didn't mix their egg whites and yolks hard enough, so they were real splotchy white. And actually quite a few did that, but that's something you have to learn. And really, I mean, a lot of these is like messing up the hollandaise, messing up the over easy, messing up the omelet. You have to mess it up to know how to do it right. You really do. So
there's an old saying in the kitchen, and it takes 100 broken yolks to get one good yolk, and once you get to that good yolk, you're on the way. And don't be disappointed with yourself if you guys are having problems flipping those eggs over easy. Don't be disappointed with yourselves if you had problems getting a little color on the omelet or the wrinkles, or even making the fold. Remember last week we talked about going low and slow on those omelets. Breakfast cookery is not the easiest thing in the world, and it's a skill and a technique that takes time. Right? Now, you just don't wake up one day, and I know everybody's watched Mom over the years flipping eggs in the kitchen. It's not that easy in the commercial environment, and once you get down, you can do it. So just be patient with yourselves. Give it some time. Yeah. What other kind of stuff came up this week, Chef Matthew?
Oh, let's see. Actually, really, I was really impressed. I said to myself, now wait a minute. All the rough go we had with knife cuts, and then we get to eggs, which are very delicate, and you have to be really careful. And we just had zing, 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 one after the other. Did a great job on the eggs. Awesome.
We must have a lot of artists in this group. Did you find that the artist, creative people are the ones that have that delicate touch that can maneuver the product? And that's awesome.
I mean, there were a lot of great submissions. A lot.
Fantastic. Good job, guys. What about the narratives? How'd everyone do with those?
There were much better. There were a lot of good ones. A few needed some work, but I think sometimes it just takes a couple. And I think that everybody is coming up on it. They're getting better at it. And what's going to happen is right now it takes a lot of thought, and it's kind of hard to fill out that form. But as you start doing it more and more, you're just going to fill it out just like bang, bang, bang. Just getting used to knowing what to put in the blanks and what to look for when you're doing your assignment. Let me give you an example. Like one of the examples I gave was for a first observation, butter. When you pull it out of the fridge, what's it look like? Then when you add heat to it, what happens to it? Bang, you got a whole bunch of really important observations you can make just on butter. So
right. Absolutely. And everyone needs to realize these narratives, I know they can be a little frustrating. They don't make a lot of sense initially. But as you progress in your career with culinary arts, it's really important to understand that you need to learn how to communicate your objectives to your staff, right? So if you're trying to train 12 of your staff members or even one of your staff members on how to clarify butter, you need to learn how to explain that. And it's really critical that you understand and you have the verbiage that it takes to be able to get your objective across to all of your folks out there. So certainly keep doing that. I got a question for you, Chef Matthew.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. What about this week? What about a narrative this week? Should we do one, or should we give them the week off? What do you think?
You're going to leave that up to me? I mean, I'm the guy that
it's your call, man. Whatever you want to do, you go for it, man. You call it. Yeah.
I think we can let them off the hook.
Vote? Let's take a vote. Yeah. Thumbs up for narrative this week.
We got one.
Me. Oh, look at that. Everybody's like, woo! All right, guys. Chef Matthews made the official call. We're going to hold off on a narrative this week. We're going to give you guys a little break on that because of the fact that you're making progression in that area. don't get too comfortable because it's just this week that we're going to get away without doing a narrative. But once again, that is a really critical skill for you guys to continue building on. You don't realize how valuable it is. All of you out there, at one point in time in your career, you're going to be writing menus, and you're going to have to learn that verbiage and how to describe things. And imagine yourself standing at a table and a guest asks you, and they say, can you please describe to me, how do you make that hollandaise sauce? Or what are the flavors in that hollandaise sauce? And you're going to be able to remember, hey, that narrative, that's what brought me to this point. You're going to be able to describe its delicate flavors and everything else. And that guest is going to be mouth-watering by the time, you get done talking. And that's selling our food to our customers and to our staff is a critical part of our jobs. So that's what chefs do. It's far more than just back there cooking. You've got to remember there's a lot of other aspects that you really have to be shiny at in this industry to succeed. So,
Chef, can I tell a quick story about narratives and communication with your staff?
Sure.
I had an incident happen one time. I was working at a hotel, and I had a meeting I was supposed to go to, and we had just gotten our new the ice paddles. Has anybody
ice sticks.
familiar with those?
Yeah,
the
ice sticks. Yeah.
You fill them with water, put them in the freezer, and then you put them in the soup, and it cools the soup down really fast. Anybody familiar with those? Nod your head. Let's see some head nods. No? Okay. It's just a great way it cools food off really fast. So I was learning Spanish, and I'm still not good at Spanish, but I was trying to explain this to a couple of my workers, and in my bad Spanish, and the communication was my error. So I explain it as well as I can, because I had some stock to cool off, and we had these ice paddles we were going to use, and so I go to the meeting, and then I come back, and I ask my guy, I'm like, so where's the stock? He goes, it's in the freezer, and I'm like, oh no. So I go in the freezer, and I look in the freezer. The stock is inside the ice paddles in the freezer. On me for communication right there.
Classic. All right, we're going to tell one other quick story about communication. So I was the executive chef at a resort, and each night as a chef, you guys will be in the same habit as well, where you're going to line your staff up, and then you're going to explain to your staff about the nightly specials. Part of that staff is the front of the house, and we used to write the specials on a big chalkboard, and it would be out front. And so we had this new hostess, and when she applied for the job, she came to us as a real foodie and that she knew everything. So I told her, I said, hey, you need to come to lineup tonight because we have this great polenta dish that we're doing, and it's very exciting. No, I know everything about that. I don't need to know anything about that. And so I gave her a brief description about it. And she goes, no, I know it all. So fine, no problem. And I go outside about 5:30 just to walk around, and I find out we're running placebo as a special that night. The communication in the restaurant industry is critical. Never assume that hostess didn't make it too long. So, yeah. Bye. How's everybody doing with the uniforms? Are those looking good? Chef Matthew?
Yeah, they're looking good. They're still need a couple hats on regularly, and I didn't see any toes though.
That's awesome, man.
No toes.
Let's save those for later.
Yeah.
Yeah, save those for later. What about, is everybody holding up the?
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's great.
Good job on that.
Good job on that. That's good. Anybody tired of eggs yet? Yeah, Abigail is. Yeah, Tonya, Chef Matthew.
Got some nose.
At them.
That's right, Joshua. We like eggs, right? We talked about that. Yeah. All right.
Hey, before we get into our next subject, we have a special guest with us tonight that I'd like to introduce. Part of our support team, and it's Wilda. You want to say hello, Wilda? And introduce. Let me unmute you.
Yes.
There you go.
I'm sorry, I got it.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah. Matthew still muted me. Okay, I'm done.
You're good. You're live.
Guys, I'm not a special guest. I'm on here once a week, but different sessions. Yeah, guys, if you haven't gotten to know your student success coach, make sure you reach out to them. They are here to help you continue to be successful along with the chefs. We are here for you. Resources that you might need, reach out to us, working through different strategies that might help you to continue through the program. So there's a lot of resources from that we can help you with, including time management, and when life happens, reach out to us so that we know what's going on. And then we'll be in touch with your chefs as well. We all communicate with one another and continue to work with everybody, okay? We're here.
Thanks, Wilda.
You're
And that's,
welcome.
I'm so glad Wilda brought that point up. The support services here is absolutely fantastic. I've referred several people that way, and I've also talked with a multitude of students who have dealt with students' services. Whatever is going on, you know, if things are becoming too tough, too challenging, life is throwing you a curveball, you know what, don't quit. Reach out to support services and give them a chance. They've got a lot of good suggestions to guide you through these challenges,
Yep.
as well do we. So take advantage of it.
Yeah,
So thank you, Wilda, very much.
you're welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we move on to the next subject, I want to reiterate the fact. Sunday, 11:59, we want to see all of the assignments turned in this week. It's really important. This is week 6. It's a heavy grading week. We want to make sure all your grades are caught up. Plus, we're also trying to get you ready for week 12, where you're going to be doing the same thing. This week, ladies and gents, is a great time to get caught up. I know some of you have missed a couple assignments here or there for one reason or the other, and that happens. Nobody's gonna look down upon you. Nobody's gonna chastise you. It takes reaching out. Reach out to me. Reach out to Chef Matthew and say, hey, you know, I missed week 3. This is going on, and I need help with this. And let us work out a game plan to help you out. You have to remember that our number one goal and our number one intention is your success. And we can't do it unless we can communicate with you. So, you know what? Put it out on the table. Let's work it out. We are here to help you succeed. So the more that you communicate with us, the more that we're able to help you. Nobody's yelling at you. Nobody's taking you out back and giving you a few bad words. We're here to encourage you and keep you going. So certainly reach out to us and let us know what we can do to help you. Week 6, everybody, is a great time to get caught up. It's a great time to get organized. It's a good week this week. Let's take a look at our class page and see what we got going on this week. We have some different things that we're going to be doing. Can everybody see my screen okay?
There it is.
Is that good? We all happy? Week 6, everybody. The first thing at the very top, we have a mid-course survey. We'd appreciate it if you could open that up and just answer 1 or 2 questions. We just want to make sure that we're taking good care of you here at Escoffier and that you guys are getting the help that you need. So go ahead and open that link. It's just a couple of questions. It'll probably take you 2 or 3 minutes to get that done at the most. So I would highly recommend that you pencil that in for following this meeting. Just go ahead, take a minute, open it up, get it done, scratch it off the list. Bye, done, right? Move on to the next thing. Week 6 conversions knowledge check is the knowledge check for this week. There's a multitude of different sources that you can get the information for this. And we'll go through this here in just a moment. And then week 6 live session, which is tonight. It happens to be right now. Good. Check it off your list. I know all of you are here, but if you're not, make sure you watch the archive because it does go into your grade. It's very important. And then we are going to be watching a special video this week about sanitation, which we're going to get into here in just a moment. And then the actual assignment is at the very bottom of the page this week, which is a very easy assignment that we're going to be taking a look at here in just a moment as well. So those are the things that need to be done this week. Moving on to the conversion knowledge check. You're probably thinking to yourself, it's really not that important, or, you know, I'm here to learn how to use a knife. This is one of the most important things that we do in the kitchen. Everybody out there knows what the number one responsibility of a chef is, don't you? Does everybody know? Number one responsibility of a chef is to generate profit, right? Regardless of how we cook, regardless of how we take care of customers, regardless of our food, regardless of our presentations, if we're not making money, then you know, they probably don't want us in their kitchen because they're there to make money. Trust me. So conversions are critical in the kitchen when it comes to working with measurements, whether you're going from a dry measurement, which is what we use to measure rice, sugar, salt, that type of thing, to a liquid measurement, which we use to measure dairy products and or some dairy products and oil or liquids such as stock, et cetera, et cetera. Most importantly, they create beyond the profit. They create very consistent recipes, and you know, we have to remember that when somebody comes into your restaurant, you know, you have about a 70% chance of them coming back if they have a great experience, right? But if they come back for that second experience and it's an okay experience because it wasn't exactly the same as it was the first time, there's a very little chance that they're going to come back. If they come back and they have a perfect experience, it's about a 50% chance that they're going to come back once again. So you're really battling against the odds. So consistency is a huge issue in our industry. We want to make sure all of our recipes are extremely consistent. And learning these things, how many teaspoons are in a tablespoon, right? How many ounces in a cup? 3. Hey, good job. Look at this. Some of you guys know. How many of you guys know the answer to that? 3. Look at that. That's awesome, right? 3 teaspoons in a tablespoon. How many tablespoons in a cup? You don't have that many fingers. Look at Guy. He's stressing out over there, right? 16 tablespoons in a cup, right? And then how many ounces in a cup? 8. Yeah. He's got it. Timothy's got it. Good job, man. So we got 8 ounces in a cup so that we know each tablespoon is a half an ounce, right? And then we know that there's 2 cups in a pint. There's 2 pints in a quart. There's 4 quarts in a gallon. 32 ounces in a quart, 64 ounces in a half gallon, 128 ounces in a gallon. You learn this through repetition, right? Don't expect that you're going to pick it up. Joshua, probably when you play music out there, you know, you have to learn by practicing, right? And playing and practice. Get used to these conversions. Start learning them. Start walking through all the information. There's a great thing on the web. You can Google it when you get done here if you want to, and it sounds kind of goofy. It's called Gallon Girl. Chef Matthew, you know much about Gallon Girl?
Yeah, Gallon Girl or the Big G.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So Gallon Girl is, she's all over the web. She's very, very famous. Some people call it Gallon Guy. And what it is somebody, a creative person, broke down all of the measurements in the shape of a gallon guy or gallon girl. And, 4 quarts represent, or what was it, 4? How does that work, Chef Matthews? That the 4 fingers represent the 4 quarts on Gallon Girl?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. But it's a really valuable tool. When I was an executive chef with DoubleTree Hotels, I had an office, and the office kind of sat up in the kitchen with big glass windows. And my then 7-year-old daughter made a diagram of Gallon Girl at elementary school, and I thought it was kind of childish, but she wanted to hang it in my office. And I found my cooks kept looking at it to remember their measurements, and so it's a really valuable tool. It's a good exercise to use. The conversion check this week for the measurements is open book. So certainly take your time. It's not a timed test. I believe you can only take it once, so make sure you get it right the right time. You don't want to keep going back.
Chef,
yes.
we got a hand up.
We got a hand up. We're at. Let's talk to Dan.
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 Hi,
Dan.
guys. Good evening. How are you?
Good. How are you tonight?
I'm all right, thanks. I don't mean to interrupt, but when we did the survey, or when you mentioned the survey, mid-course survey, it was also mentioned for the CE 115 class. I did it yesterday on my CE 115 class, and now I don't have it on this class. Is it tied together so I don't have to do it twice?
If it's not listed on your
Is it the
class
same
page,
questions? Because I'm
right. If it's not listed on your specific class page, that means it's already been recorded.
okay. I
But
just
if it
wanted
is
to double check
listed
that
on
because
your-
I know that it was.
Yeah. So if it is there listed, we'd appreciate it if you just take it one more time just to kind of fill it in.
Okay.
Yeah, if you don't
All right,
mind, that'd be
great.
great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dan, for a good question,
you.
by the way. I know a lot of you are in CE 115 right now, and so a lot of you have that same question. So that is one of our responsibilities this week. That's the conversion knowledge check. My recommendation is get this done by tomorrow. It's probably going to take you 10 to 15 minutes to do it. Scratch it off the list. Boom, done. Bye. Bury it with the mid-course survey. You got 2 things done already this week, and it's only Thursday. So stay ahead of the game. This is a great way to get the time management. Next thing we got to work on is the sanitation mistakes video. It's pretty cool. Have you seen it, Chef Matthew?
Yeah, I have. I just watched it a couple days ago. It's like some people were saying in the chat room, it's kind of gross.
Yeah.
There's a little
Look at
bit
Ebony
going
up
on.
there.
In
She didn't like it. Did you like it, Ebony? No. This video is going to be pretty cool this week. It's an actual 360 video where if you can either move your device around or you can take your mouse and click and drag the picture, and you can kind of see the entire loft that this video was shot in. So it's kind of a neat piece of technology. I really like it. But I would highly recommend before you watch this video to go back to week 1 or 2 and take a quick peek at some of the sanitation things that were talked about in your research materials before you watch it. It'll really help you with this. You probably want to allot anywhere from the 30 to 45 minutes for this exercise. It's real simple, real clean cut. So you're going to go on, you're going to watch this video. When you watch the video is 5 minutes and 25 seconds long. So it's very, very simple. And then after you watch the video, you're going to fill out this this document, and I'm going to switch over to the screen now, and all of you can take a look at it. So can everybody see this up here?
there it is.
There it is. So number 1 recommendation, go back to week 1 or 2, take a look, just kind of refresh yourself on some of those sanitation issues that were discussed in your research materials, really kind of bring yourself up back to speed. And then you're gonna pull this video, or you're gonna pull up this template, and I'm gonna show you where it's at here in just a second. And go ahead and read this template before you watch the video. You'll save yourself a lot of time in the long run. And then you're simply gonna answer the questions, right? List 2 mistakes that occur before the midpoint, 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And then you're gonna list some mistakes. And then 2 mistakes that occur after the midpoint of the video, which is 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And then you're gonna list out those 2 using this template. And then down at the bottom, you're gonna write a quick summary. Why is it important to avoid the sanitation mistakes that you noticed in the kitchen, right? I think one of them, for example, is feeding the dog in the video, which is, we don't do that in kitchens because you pick up a lot of various bacteria. So that would be a form of not only cross-contamination, but introducing other bacteria into food, which can potentially get people sick. So you want to make sure that you refresh yourself on sanitation, pull up this template, read it, watch the video, 5 minutes, 25 seconds, fill it out, and then this you will submit with your actual assignment. So you're going to go ahead and put this document into your Google Drive, right? So right down here on the class page, There's a little button right here. It says have this template ready, right? Click on that, and then you're going to hit make a copy, right? And then a new copy will pop up, and that was the copy that I just showed you. Oh, I know this is a really good video. It's got a lot of great examples of things that are not good in the kitchen. So I highly recommend that you pay close attention to it. You're going to be able to pick up a lot of good information in this. Sanitation is a huge issue within our industry. Number one way that we spread foodborne illness in the industry is what? Who knows? Any guess? There you go, Dan. That's it. Thank you, Chef Matthew. It's our hands, right? And you're going to notice that occurs throughout the video on multitudes of occasions. When we get done washing our hands, what are we supposed to dry it with? What do you think? Towel? Apron? Can I dry it on my chef's back?
The back of the dog?
Back of the, what's that?
Paper towel.
Yeah,
Paper
yeah.
towel.
Can I walk out of there and I do this? No. Dry our hands with a single-use paper towel. Pay attention to that in the video. You're going to see it. It's going to happen. The guy's going to pick up a towel off the counter and he dries his hands with it. That's not good because we don't know what kind of bacteria is in there. So we want to make sure that we're picking up on these things. If I'm not mistaken, in 2016, foodborne illness cost the restaurant industry close to $70 billion in lost wages and profits. It is a big issue. That doesn't include the lives that were lost. It doesn't include all the people that were sick and they missed work, they missed vacations, everything else because of foodborne illness, sanitation issues that take place within the kitchen. So, ladies and gents, very serious subject. Once you get into industry, they're going to be expecting you to be washing your hands all the time, checking your temperatures, changing your cutting boards, watching out for cross-contamination. These are huge issues. So once again, I highly recommend that you get this done tomorrow. Boom. Done. Out of the ballpark. Relax. You got it. Next
Sounds
thing,
like
what's that?
sounds like a karate movie.
Oh yeah, I know. Karate Kids. Yeah. Next thing, ladies and gentlemen, is our cooking assignment this week. And you thought you could run, but you couldn't hide, could you? You just couldn't hide from the knife cuts, right? This week, we're back to knife cuts. We're going to be cutting up some carrots this week. Don't be afraid. It's simple. You're probably talking 45 minutes to an hour maximum for this assignment to do it. You're going to be julienning and brunoising some carrots. Step one, I highly recommend that when you go to the grocery store, if you're able to, buy the biggest carrots that you can buy. It's a lot easier to work with large carrots than it is to work with a bunch of little carrots. I'm speaking from practical experience, by the way. So buy the biggest carrots that you can find. Step two, before you start working with your carrot, it's okay to let it temper. And that means to pull it out, let it come up to room temperature rather. Warm carrots won't curl as easily as cold carrots. Cold carrots are very fibrous. When they're cold and you cut them, those fibers will curl, and it oftentimes can be frustrating. So if you let that carrot sit out on your counter for about 30 minutes before you cut it, it's going to make your life a lot easier. As well, for this week's assignment, I highly recommend going back to weeks 1 and 2 and look down at the bottom of the class page. You're going to see, it's going to refresh you on the knife cuts, and it'll help you remember. Just a quick refresher, you're going to take that carrot and then you're going to square it off, right? And so it's going to come out a rectangle, right? Square, rectangle, right? And then you're going to take that rectangle and you're going to cut it into planks, right? Those planks are going to be about 1/8 of an inch thick, right? And then from that 1/8 of an inch thick plank, you are going to cut julienne. So julienne is one of them. And everybody remembers the dimension of a julienne? Christopher, you remember? Yeah? Abigail, you remember? 1/8 by 1/8? by 1 to 2 inches. So let's stick with the 2-inch number. So 1/8 by 1/8 by 2 inches is going to be our dimension for our julienne cut. And we're going to go through the actual quantities and everything else here in just a moment. And then as well, once you get done with your julienne and you get that picture taken in there, you're going to take those julienne and you're going to line them up nice and neat on your cutting board, right? Little soldiers lying there, right? Nice and stacked up. And then you're going to cut 1/8 of inch pieces. And from that, you are going to get your brunoise. And your brunoise, 1/8 of an inch by 1/8 of an inch by 1/8 of an inch. Big carrot, square it off, right? Let it sit on the counter for about a half hour so it gets up to room temperature. 1/8 of an inch planks. From that plank, you're going to cut your julienne. From that julienne, you will cut your brunoise. Let's take a look at this week's assignment to make sure that we get all of the appropriate information done in here. Can everybody see the screen okay?
There it is.
There it is. Good. I'm a little slow tonight. Okay. So number one, we talked about the sanitation video that you have to take care of. We showed you where the template was, showed you where the video was too, which is directly below the template. And that video is 5 minutes, 25 seconds long. You're going to write down 2 sanitation mistakes before the halfway mark, 2 sanitation mistakes after the halfway mark, and then you're going to write a brief narrative at the bottom as to why those sanitation mistakes are bad. Don't forget, that's a 360 video. Move your device around, or you can actually click and drag, and it's kind of cool. So taking a look at our narrative, we just talked about the sanitation mistakes there, and I think that's pretty cut and dry. Get that done tomorrow. Check it off. Out of the ballpark, right? As far as the photos that are required this week, you're going to take that self-identification photo. Chef Matthew mentioned at the beginning of our class tonight, a couple people are missing hats out there still. Make sure you get them. That's industry requirement. Create those habits now before it's too late. Sanitation bucket and test strip demonstration. How have we been doing on those, Chef Matthew?
Pretty good. There's still some, I'm sure I took some points off a few people because they didn't show me the test strip next to the little tube, and or they showed it to me and it was way out of whack. I mean, if it's toxic, you're not using it. So don't show me a test strip with it's completely black, because I know you have too much bleach in your water. Show me one that's right. That's the one I want to see. I don't have to know if you made 12 mistakes. I don't have to know that at all. Show me the right one.
So just got to remember, yeah, good comment. So just got to remember, half gallon of warm water, half teaspoon of bleach, right? Will get you right in between the 50 and 100 parts per million mark. And you're going to hold your test strip or your test tube up with the numbers exposed. And then you're going to hold that test strip. And that test strip should align right in between the 50 and 100 part per million area. You're going to take a picture of that. And then your knife grip. Does everybody remember your knife grip out there? Hasn't been that long, right? So you got 3 fingers on the grip, index finger and thumb on the blade. Grab the blade with your index finger and thumb, put 3 fingers on the grip. Your claw grip, we need to see a picture of that as well, right? Fingertips on the food, first knuckles extended forward, guide the blade of the knife. Don't stop practicing that. That's something that you got to keep going for a long, long time. So we need that picture. We need a picture of the proper mise en place, right? Which is going to be your station set, your cutting board with your anchor, sanitation solution, towel in the sanitation bucket, your carrots, your knife, et cetera, et cetera. And then the julienne. You're going to have 4 ounces of julienne that is going to be a close-up picture. So you're going to take your ruler and you're going to line that picture or line up one of the juliennes to show the length and then another julienne to show the width. So you're going to have 2 carrots up against the ruler and then your 4-ounce portion of juliennes. That's 4 ounces by weight, by the way. So you'll have to use your scale that you got from Escoffier. So once again, your ruler, 2 julienne carrots up against the ruler, one to show the length and then another one to show the width. And then you're also going to show a 4-ounce by weight picture of the brunoise, which is very important. Make sure you put at least 2 up against the ruler as well, one to show the width and the height, which Chef Matthew will be able to determine the correct dimension from that. It's very, very important. And then proper storage of usable scrap. How would you define that, Chef Matthew?
I'd say have some kind of a storage container that with a closable lid or a plastic baggie that seals closed so that I know that you're storing it properly. If it's just a pile of stuff sitting on a plate, that's not how you put it in the fridge. I mean, how do you put it in the fridge? So.
Yeah. So those are great comments, Chef Matthew. So in industry, it's very, very important. Usable scrap is going to go into a sealed container. It can be a plastic container covered with plastic wrap. It can be a Ziploc baggie. But that Ziploc baggie or that container that's covered with plastic wrap or a plastic lid should be labeled with the product and the date. Technically, the expiration date 7 days from the day of production as well, and your initials. But let's just work on getting it into a proper container at this point, and that will count as credit. So this week, 7 photos this week, please. Self-identification, sanitation bucket, knife grip, claw, proper mise en place, julienne, brunoise, usable scrap. Very important. And then you're going to put all of that into a folder with your sanitation mistakes form that you're going to fill out, the one that you're going to make a copy of, and then you're going to submit that on when? When?
Sunday,
Sunday. By what time?
11:59 p.m.
Bingo.
Rock. Good job. Yeah. Is that Melvin? Who is that down there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, hey, Melvin. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for catching that, man. I forgot there for a moment. Sunday, 11:59 Central Standard Time. That would be Chicagoland. You're going to have to submit your assignment, so please get it in by Sunday. Once again, I want to run through this real quick, how simple this week is, right? So on your midterm course survey, do that right after this meeting. It's only going to take you, what, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, get it done. Knock it out of the park. Week 6, conversion check. Get this done tomorrow. It's only going to take you a half hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour, just to get it done. Boom, submit it. Out of the park. Done. You can relax. Sanitation mistakes video. Get it done tomorrow. It's 5 minutes, 25 seconds, right? You got to write down 4 mistakes. You got to write down that brief reason or the brief narrative as to why those mistakes are bad. Boom, put it into your Google folder on Friday if possible, or Saturday morning. Do your 2 knife cuts, your julienne and your brunoise. Hey, happiness, right? Put it all into a folder. I highly recommend. You know what? Take 10 minutes. Go through that folder. Make sure everything's perfect. Get 100. That's what we want. We want to see hundreds all the way through that grade book. That's an awesome thing to see.
I love giving 100%. So
yeah, and I love seeing them
throwing
too.
that out there.
Yeah, I think that makes me happy to see those 100. So guys, get it in. Ladies and gents, this is a great week to get that 100. And then just to kind of close things up tonight, we're not going to keep you too long for tonight. A lot of students have reached out to me regarding various issues. Hey, they need help with this. They need help with that. Whatever is going on. Ladies and gents, don't forget to pick up the phone and call. Shoot me a text. Send me an email. Let me know that, hey, I need help with this. That's what we're here for. You're not bothering us. We are here to help you. We want to help you. We like helping you. So please let us know what we can do to help you out. We're here to help you succeed. So please do that. If you've missed any assignments, reach out to me. Let me know what we can do. Let's work something out. I think there's a couple of you out there that are missing week 3, week 2. We're here to help you. You can sit there and take the 0, or you can reach out and let's work out a plan. Let's make it happen. It's all possible. And then we also talked for the past couple of weeks about keeping track of your expenses for extra credit. So the expenses that you're incurring purchasing product for this class, make a little list, write it down, submit it during week 12, and we're going to give you some extra credit for doing that. We're trying to find out some accurate costs out there from various parts of the country so we can help establish a solid number. Everybody like that? And Sunday, 11:59 Central Standard Time. Submit your assignments, please.
Sunday.
Yeah. And then, you know what? I want to say one last thing tonight. Make your success your priority, right? If you make your success your priority, you take advantage of us to help you out, you're going to go to the moon, right? And the worst thing that can happen, if you shoot for the moon, you'll land on the stars. So you know what? Do it. Chef Matthew, you have anything in closure?
2 questions.
Sure.
2 hands up. Abigail, I believe you were first. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Abigail.
But on the carrots, should I go based off of this chart right here, or should I go by the ruler?
No, you're perfect. Yeah, that's a great question, Abigail. Thank you so much for bringing that up. If all of you have your Escoffier rulers out there, which have the cutouts to show the actual dimensions, please use that. That's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely. Yeah.
It's if you the little like the little julienne and the little brunoise, if you try and fit that little carrot right inside there, it's actually a little bit smaller than the actual dimensions. If you're pretty close, either way, I think most of you know I give it to you as long as it's a good, like the brunoise is a good cube shape. If you're just a wee bit off, I'm not going to tag you for that. And same with the julienne. If you're just a wee bit off, but you get the perfect shape on there, I'm going to give it to you.
Okay.
So,
I also have one more question. As of the product for week 12, would that be counting as like not like produce, but like new non-stick pan? I had to go get one this last week for my eggs.
No, this would just be food products.
Okay.
yeah.
Got it.
Yep. Thanks, Abigail.
Uh-huh.
Who's next?
Thank
What about, is Timothy next?
Timothy's next.
Timothy,
Yes,
what
yes,
you got going on, man?
I was wondering if you could demonstrate a proper tear of a scale so that when you weigh our product, everybody knows you got to tear that cup before you weigh your.
How to set the tear on the scale?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. What you're going to do, it's actually, that's a great question, Timothy. Thank you. So what you're going to do, you're going to take your scale, you're going to turn it on, you're going to put your container on there if needed. If you're going to use a container, it's only 4 ounces of carrots, so you probably don't need to set the tear weight on it. But in the event that you put a plastic container on there, you have to be able to account for that weight, right? You don't want that included in your 4 ounces. So put that plastic container onto your scale, and then you're going to hit the tear button. And then once you hit the tear button, that'll zero it back out, and then you're ready to go. Does that answer your question, Timothy?
Absolutely. I was just making sure that everybody was clear because it took me about 2 years before I realized to do that.
No, yeah, that's great that you bring that up. Tear weight is extremely important. Basically, you don't want to be charging the customer for the weight of the actual package, and that's kind of where that comes from. In industry, oftentimes when we weigh out large portions of flour, we'll have to put a container on top of the scale. We have to be able to account for the weight of that container so it does not skew our recipe. That good?
Yes.
How about Ebony?
Yes, I have a question.
Oh,
When you all did the feedback, I couldn't get into it. It kept on telling me that I had a blank page, so I could never get into the feedback.
okay. Chef Matthew, do you mind reaching out to Ebony after the meeting, maybe shooting her a message, and you guys could work that out?
Sure, no problem.
And then Ebony, thank you so much for bringing that up. Next time you have a challenge like that, or anybody has a problem with their specific assignment, certainly reach out to Chef Matthew right away. He'll get back to you as soon as he can, and he gets back to people right away. And he'll get in there and he'll check that link. He'll make sure it's good and that everything is ship shape for you. So.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
What about Tonya?
So the question that Abigail asked about on our rulers, my mom bought me this.
Uh-huh.
It is a cutting board that has everything on that?
Are those blueprints?
No, it's like, yeah, pretty much. I could basically like cut
It's
everything.
like you're building a house.
But my question is that considered cheating if I use
No.
this?
At this stage, since you're developing your knife techniques, you're learning about your different dimensions and everything else, we encourage you to use something like that.
Okay.
This is it's a method of muscle memorization. It's a method of repetition. So
Okay.
using something like this at this stage in your career is perfectly fine. Once you grow on and you become a professional, you won't need that any longer. You'll grow out of it. And once you get into, if you ever go into competitions or something like that, then you obviously wouldn't be allowed to use it. But for right now, that's fine.
Okay. Thank you.
You get used to looking at julienne and go, oh, that's a proper julienne. You'll know it by sight, not by measurement. You might even forget what the measurements are because you just know what it's supposed to look like. So
that's it. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Thank you.
Good
How about
question.
Nate? What's going on, Nate?
Hey guys, what's up? So I have a question for Chef Matthew. So I know the assignment that I uploaded or last night, you said that it was only one photo that was put in, right?
I think I remember.
Okay, yeah.
Nathaniel was the name on it.
Yep,
yeah, it was Nathaniel.
Yeah.
I just
I
wanted to
remember.
double check. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I do remember talking to you. I don't remember every assignment, but
Okay.
but
I just wanted to make sure that that when I resubmitted, if it came through and everything was there, because I was worried about that last night. Because you said not to worry about it, but I did resubmit. I just wanted to double check and make sure.
okay. I will. I'll double check and I'll get back to you tonight. I'll just
Okay.
text you if that's good.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, and once again, everybody, as soon as something like that happens, right to Chef Matthew. He's going to help you out. He coordinates all that with those assignments and the evaluations on them, and he's a good chef, and he knows what he's talking about, and he'll get back to you, and he'll be able to give you a really good explanation as to what's going on. So, absolutely. Who do we have? Do we have any more questions? All right, ladies and gents, once again, hey, Sunday night, 11:59 Central Standard Time. Let's get those assignments in. Do your mid-course survey right after this meeting. Boom. Done. Week 6 conversion knowledge check. Get this done by tomorrow. Boom. 30 minutes out of the park. Done. Sanitation mistakes. Get it done tomorrow. 5-minute, 25-second video. Done. And then all you're left with is 2 knife cuts, right? Hey, Friday, get it done. Put it in the folder. Take a few minutes with your coffee on Saturday morning. Take a look in your folder. Make sure everything looks good. Check the rubric. Make sure you have those 7 photos that are required. Make sure that your template from the sanitation mistakes video is in there. And boom, send it to Chef Matthew. Get it to him on Saturday. Let's bury Chef Matthew with assignments on Saturday, right? Let's put him to work on the weekend, everybody. Make it happen, right?
Nice problem to have.
Yeah. Once again, everyone, if anyone has any questions, needs any help, needs any support, pick up that phone, give us a call, shoot us a message, send us a text, send us an email. We're here to help. Great session, everybody. Look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.